Hello the Stockhead faithful, great to be with you again. This week I'll be talking about a US hydrogen helium explorer. Returned some pretty impressive results in the white hydrogen space. And that space is only just getting started and it's got a pretty good future ahead of it. First on to markets, a lot of interest in gold. There's also a lot of activity with ETFs moving to the gold space. That's helped drive the gold price. As there's a bit of uncertainty coming off with negotiations between the US and China, I have seen a little bit of a pullback from the highs we saw in April. But by and large, I think that fear factor's out there and it's going to continue driving gold. Just before we get on to the stock of the week, a bit of a recap on some recent news. Whitecliff Minerals, the ticker is WCN, put out some tremendous results last week to follow up that monster copper intersection they reported at the Ray project. 25002 came in at 63 metres at 2.2% copper, and 25004 came in at 72 metres at 1.1% copper. So that's at the Danvers prospect at the Ray project. That's already got a historical resource of just over 4 million tonnes, but that's certainly going to grow. We've also seen some interest back in Somerset resources, which I mentioned a few weeks ago, around 1 cent. That shot up to 2.4 and is doing some pretty good volume around 2 cents. So I think the whole Nunavut region is certainly going to be one to watch. Moving on to stock of the week, HyTerra Limited, ticker is HYT. I have mentioned this a few times. It's a hydrogen helium play in Kansas in the US. Fortescue injected about 22 million late last year and are holding about 40%. It's been a bit of a slow burn. They had a long winter in Kansas, so it would prevent them getting on the ground early. But they've just finished the DeRoche 3 hole. That was drilled to about 3,450 feet. They reported hydrogen values up to 96% and an unknown quantity of helium. That confirmed the historical results at DeRoche 2, which is not far away. I think that hole returned 92% hydrogen. There's also indications of up to 12.8% helium in that region. And I think as they drill deeper, I think they're going to get better helium values. And I think that's a bit of a wild card for HyTerra and could really drive that stock. Pretty impressive team at HyTerra. Ben Mee, Avon McIntyre, plenty of experience in the oil and gas space. Christine Nicolai is the Fortescue representative on the board. So they'll be looking for a serious win here after a bit of heavy weather in the hydrogen space. Fortescue are pretty keen for a win in hydrogen. There's obviously been a bit of news about redundancies in the hydrogen space. And I think a lot of the negativity has been around the blue and the green hydrogen. And I think white hydrogen or natural hydrogen is going to get a lot more airplay. Still a lot of support in the US for it. Helium markets forecast to grow to $6.5 billion by 2027. And the natural hydrogen market, which is likely to feed the green ammonia plants in Kansas, that market's forecast to grow to over $120 billion US by 2032. So plenty of drivers there. The market response has been a bit tepid, but I think as we move into the second half of the year and they get into some flow testing and confirm these results, bearing in mind these results they published the other day are only mud gas samples, I think you'll see a much better response. Anyway, that's all for me, and I look forward to seeing you next week.